you're in New York. Okay, we're gonna back up.
Oh yeah.
You're living in New York. And how are you getting a connection? And what was the call that you got where it was like you're gonna be playing with Rihanna?
Once again, it always come down to you meet these people, So at that point, especially with Rock of Ages, that was so many musicians because
High profile
everybody's
musicians.
there's a lot of subs, so
Yeah.
so it's moving, and so you meet the guy, and then the next day it's the other different guitar player, because it's like at least 8 shows a week. So there's a lot of so you meet a lot of people just for that one show,
Right.
for example,
Right.
and of course the other one. So anyway, the Rihanna, I'm not sure exactly what it came about, but I think it's one of those things like Tony Bruno at the time, which is a funny thing. He used to be the band leader of Enrique Iglesias back in the days, and then he switched to Rihanna. But it has nothing to do with me anyway.
Right. It's just a coincidence.
No, yeah. So because at that time he was with Rihanna, and then the keyboard player just left for the end of that leg. It was only one leg left for that tour with the last girl on earth.
For the viewers, when we say a leg of a
Oh.
tour, how long roughly is that?
It can be short, can be long. It's like a stretch that they plan. Like, okay, we're doing.
So it could be like you're gone for like a year though.
It could be that, or it could be a month. Like
Okay.
in my case, it was. They only book until. I mean, they already played that show like a long time, so they were kind of the end of that production. Let's say. So they needed someone to go for the shows in Australia. So
Okay.
it was a couple of weeks in Australia, and that would be it pretty much. So anyway, I guess he just asked around. My name just pops up, and I guess he didn't have much time to find someone, or I mean the right time, right moment kind
All
of
the
thing.
stars align.
Yeah.
I like to back up a little bit on that. And because you're super, super modest. And I think that even people like yourself, you forget that it's not just luck. You just weren't at the right place at the right time. It's because you're an awesome human being, because I know you as a human being first, and you're obviously capable to do the gig. So those two in combination, being on time, being an awesome human being, people refer you for those reasons. And I think those are like the big critical things of why you get a gig like that, and why we're gonna talk about more of the other gigs that you're getting, is because of the combination of those things.
Yeah, definitely it has to be a combination of many things because I know so many keyboard players that just like so amazing. I'm like
Sure.
they're like
Sure.
I was like, how come I got the gig? Like they must.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
But of course, like for that gig also, there was all the keyboard side of it, all the programmation. So they need someone that really knows the sound, because I had to recreate everything from scratch,
Right.
because the guy I had his own setup. I had to recreate everything. So that's that, and yeah. So
It's a lot of work.
but yeah, those guys were incredible. Like first of all, Nuno, but then Kurt on guitar.
on guitar, like hello. And how does that feel to be listening to the songs growing up, and then realizing, looking over to I don't know if you're looking over to your right or to your left at Nuno, but going, I'm playing with Nuno.
Yeah, no, it was very surreal. And the other guy too, like it's just monsters. Like just like,
Monster players.
how come I end up here? Like it's insane. And then our first gig, I think the first gig was the Grammys.
That was your first gig.
Yeah.
Eh,
And then
when I say thrown to the freaking, once again, he's thrown to the sharks, There we go.
and there was another show, I forgot the name, but it was like on stage it was Drake, Rihanna, and Kanye West. And that was my second gig. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Meanwhile, he's going, why me? Why me? Why me? Like surrounded by like
No.
titans of the industry.
Yeah, exactly. And then those places, I mean, like Grammy, it's just the fact of walking around in the back alley is like, oh, Mike Jagger just passed, and just everybody's right there. It's like, oh, holy fuck, that's
This is for real. That has to be surreal. Like, because we all grow up dreaming of even just going to attend the Grammys, to watch the Grammys, but now you're not watching, you're looking at the audience, and you're on stage. It just must be mind-blowing. And at that point, it must be a huge confidence builder.
Well, it needs a lot for me to.
But it has to be. It has to be some type of like confidence builder to do something like that.
Well, I mean, I still am the same. So it's not like I feel, oh, I'm suddenly better because I did that. But
Right.
Well, for some people, like it does change their mentality. It's interesting that you've remained so humble.
well,
throughout
I'm
the
still
success.
next to Nuno and what those guys.
Right.
It's
Still humbling.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like okay, I'm just pretty. I'm just gonna be grateful I'm here right now.
Do you feel like sometimes I'm just gonna shut up until somebody notices I'm actually here?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like all they call it the
Imposter syndrome.
yes.
We talk about that a lot on the show.
lot.
Yeah.
Because we talk to other people like yourselves who have maybe come from humble beginnings. They've made it quite successful, or what we would deem successful in their career, and they're still going, why are they calling me for the gig? Why me and not, someone else that you admire potentially?
Yeah.
So no matter how big the gig you get, you played the Grammys.
Grammys.
I want to talk about when you do gigs like this, and coming from Montreal, and we've talked about this issue with other guests about the concerns of making sure that you're properly compensated for your work. So money, do you go in with the thought of money, or do you just want to be a part of the project?
Oh, I mean, I hope I'm gonna be compensated because I'll be in trouble. But I mean, it's not what I'm focused on for sure. But of course, I mean, you expect to have at that point. I mean, if they give you a few bucks and it's like, that's doesn't line up here. Like,
Right.
like okay, that could be. But I mean, you assume you're gonna. I mean, everybody's got in my industry, like everybody's got paid differently, and you don't know what the other guy has. And it's, I mean, so far it's been like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know if am I getting screwed? I don't know.
Right.
Because it's fine. As long as it's fine for me.
So at this point, you know you're going to get compensated as long as it's relative and it suits your means. You haven't gotten screwed.
But it depends also if you is it just a one-time gig? Is it?
Sure.
Are you gonna work like Whitney and Riquet? It's been 12 years now, and then we're pretty steady this whole time. So it's like I don't know. It's always depend of
Are there
so many
contracts involved?
things. No.
That's surprising to
Hired
me.
gig, and you're on call, and there's no guarantees of when it could end.
Yeah, I mean, in that business is
Right.
Just,
That's so surprising to me. I thought that everything would be so like
no,
pen
there's
and
no
paper.
union. There's nothing like that.
Any musician just wants to get paid fairly. And if you feel it's fair for you and everything's relative to your lifestyle and your, it's like, and the experience that you've had, in years, you want to pay to your scale of your lifestyle. So as long as you're getting paid in the work that you do and you're getting compensated, then it's a beautiful thing.